Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Let me start by conveying my apologies for the late start. I had a meeting earlier on, and just also appreciate your presence in this place. And also, let me take this time to once again convey the Department of Labor's condolences on, first and foremost, the passing of two people as a result of the collapsing of the scaffolding. I also need to emphasize, ladies and gentlemen, that what I'm going to be releasing is a preliminary report based on the investigation that we have done on Section 31. This type of investigation allows us to gather information that therefore informs on the way forward. And just as a matter of basic information, on the 14th of October 2015, at approximately 15:25, the incident that has brought us together here took place. Like I said earlier on, 2 persons were deceased, 19 people were injured, 3 are still in a critical condition in hospital, 9 were discharged, 2 were admitted, and 5 are in a stable condition. And the stance of the Department of Labor has always been that any injuries, any hurts, any fatalities are really a matter of concern. The parties involved, the client is the City of Johannesburg, and the Johannesburg Development Agency indicated that they have appointed Royal Haskoning, DHB, as an agent, Marian Roberts as the principal contractor and the supplier of material involved in the incident. Is Formscaf. The details of the investigations. The matter was reported to Bramley Police Station and is being investigated at that level as well. The Department of Labor first visited the place of the sin on the 14th of October 2015, shortly after the incident had taken place. In terms of background information, the Department of Labor, like I said, visited the place of the incident on the 14th, and what transpired was that Murray and Roberts were awarded a contract to commence construction of the Grayston Drive pedestrian and cyclist structural bridge, and they commenced the construction on the 29th January 2015, and were still continuing when the incident occurred. It was indicated that Murray and Roberts acquired materials of the design for the construction of the temporary bridge from Formscaf. The construction of the temporary bridge was done by Murray and Roberts using design drawings by Formscaf. At the time of the collapse, it transpired that the installation of the quick stage design was not yet completed. However, the traffic was already traversing under the structure. On those bases, and like I indicated earlier on the basis that we also went ahead with the Section 31 investigation. In terms of the Occupational Health and Safety Act, we, the Department of Labor, have a responsibility to investigate incidents of this nature. In terms of the information gathered based on Section 31, the Chief Inspector has taken a decision to conduct a formal inquiry that will be done in terms of Section 32 of the Occupational Health and Safety Act. Let me highlight what the formal inquiry is going to be focusing on, but not limited to the things that I'm going to be highlighting. Number 1, the responsibility of the client in terms of construction regulations. We'll be focusing on that. Number 2, the responsibility of the principal constructor in terms of the construction regulations and as an employer. Thirdly, the responsibility of the agent on behalf of the client in terms of same regulations. Fourthly, the responsibility of the supplier of the material and the designer. And on those bases, I just want to thank you for listening. So those will be the areas that we'll be focusing on as a department. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks a million. You've heard the position of the department and what will be happening going forward. Now we're going to give you an opportunity to ask questions. Feel free to ask questions. If there are any earth-shattering questions, feel free to ask them. And please identify yourself and the institution you come from.
My name is Malungi. I'm from ANCA. I just want you to help me understand. I know it's a preliminary report you've given us. What was the cause of the bridge to collapse? A lot of people want to know, in the simplest form, what caused the bridge to collapse? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Christina Gori, SABC News. My question is the time frame for this full inquiry. How long would it take, and and will the findings be made public?
Thank you. Three more questions, please.
I have a question with regard to Marian Roberts, if they are found to have been negligent in terms of the occupational health and safety, and what kind of remedies or sort of punishment would be enacted?
You haven't told us anymore?
So we would have told you.
Okay, thank you. Two more.
Did you get this question?
Good day, everyone. My name is Joey Sai. I'm with African News Agency. Just want to check, please, this inquiry by the Chief Inspector, does it, or what are the effects? Does it lead to prosecutions if there is need for that? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, we'll come back. Yeah. Thank you.
Jerry Deacon, Project Pro. There seems to be rumors that it possibly was a concrete truck that lost control and rammed into the scaffolding. So the preliminary inquiry support that rumor?
Okay. I'm going to give the presenters the opportunity to respond, and then we'll take another round of questions. Thank you.
Thanks. I'm going to invite the Chief Inspector to respond to the questions.
Thank you, Chairperson. The purpose of the inquiry will be to determine further. The first question was what caused the bridge to collapse. What we found was that during the course of our investigation, we weren't able to.
Come here. Come here.
The purpose of the inquiry then will be to determine further what exactly did take place.
Somebody's microphone. Okay, come.
Let's go back to the issue. The purpose of an inquiry, once prima facie evidence is presented for as the base for an inquiry, what will then happen is we will then garner further evidence or information as is required to get to the bottom of what actually transpired to lead to the collapse of the bridge. Sorry, this thing has just set me off a bit. I just need to regain my composure. So in terms of Section 32, the 32 will allow us to dig deeper in terms of what we need to get. We can shift from a 31 to a 32 if the basis for that is sufficient for us to do so. The time frame for the formal inquiry, we have already started our preparations around the formal inquiry. We are looking at anything around 6 months at this stage. You will, however, be mindful of the fact that we are collecting evidence and there are many parties that will be involved during the course of this formal inquiry. While we are conducting the formal inquiry, we will then determine further how much additional time is required. At this stage, we are looking at about 6 months. In terms of negligence regarding any party, at this stage of the game, we are not pointing a finger at anyone. The purpose of the inquiry is to gain or to gather additional evidence, that information is then presented to the NPA for them to make a decision on the issue. Ours is the recommendation that will go to the NPA for them to decide what to do. Negligence is what is proved by a court. We don't make a determination around that for any party. When we enter the inquiry, we are basically going in totally neutral to gather the evidence that we need to present to a court of law. In addition to that, the inquiry then can lead to a prosecution based on the evidence that we present in a court of law. It may land up very well that there's a prosecution that will ensue. But that is up to the prosecution to determine. As for any rumors, we work with facts, we don't work with rumors, and we are looking into every matter insofar as this collapse of the bridge is concerned. We don't guess, we don't hazard any guesses as far as the work is or the investigation is concerned. And this is the purpose of an investigation as well as an inquiry. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I think there was also one more question, and I've got a lady next to me that is going to take that. The question was, are the findings going to be made public? I'll invite Fidiswa to respond to that.
Thank you, Chair. On the question of releasing the information to the public, we as the Department of Labour, we are obliged in terms of the law, in terms of promotion of access to information, to release information on interested parties. But we'll have to follow the process of accessing information through the department. So we'll make it available on request. It's going to be an application, therefore you have to request the information and then we'll follow the process. Thank you, Chair.
Second round of questions. Follow up? Okay, start with you then.
Okay, my name is Greg Harrington. Ask Gregory. It seems to be stated early on in your release that the quick stage had been erected to a point and then the traffic had been allowed to flow. But the quick stage had not been completed. Can we go into that a bit, please?
Second question.
Just in terms of the building of this bridge, will it carry on or will it now wait for this investigation to be completed and then we'll proceed with it?
That question, go.
Roy Cocaine from Business Report. Can you comment on what the prima facie evidence was that was actually obtained in the preliminary investigation, and also comment on who will be the members of the panel or the inquiry, the formal inquiry, and how they are selected?
Thank you. Any more questions?
Directly on first responsibility to the client itself, so that the city of Joburg and what exactly was their responsibility that you're going to be doing.
Okay, and I'm taking the last one, if there is.
Louise Flanagan from the Star newspaper. There's another bridge built with scaffolding a little further north on the same road. Have your people had a look at that? Is that safe?
Thank you. I'm going to allow the presenters to respond to your questions. Thank you.
Tiba.
The first issue that was raised around the quick stage being erected but not completed, I think that is something that came out of the investigation, but we are gathering information around this particular issue as we continue in order to prepare for the inquiry. The building of the bridge, can it continue? What will transpire is that in the event that something takes place the way it has, the area can then, once we have released the area, because in this case we served a prohibition notice that that nothing further can take place there. Once we've been satisfied that the City of Johannesburg or whoever they've appointed as agents to assist them have removed that, then they can continue with their construction activity, be it demolitions or removal of the equipment, and then they can continue and rebuild, if you like. Obviously, they'll need to comply with the legislation as they move forward. In this particular case, the members of the panel, there will be an appointment that will be made shortly around the Section 32. The Chief Inspector may appoint someone to preside over an inquiry, and a person has been identified, but we'll reveal that at a later stage. The City of Johannesburg, if you like, as the client, they do have specific duties. As they commence with their activities in terms of the construction regulations, there's a host of duties that are imposed upon them that they have to comply with, and it will take me quite a few minutes to go over that issue, and I don't think it warrants it here for this purpose. However, suffice it to say that commencing with any activity regarding construction work, there's a tremendous duty placed upon a client to ensure that whatever activity they're going to do around construction work, that it's done in a manner that is prescribed by the construction regulations. So those duties are set out. From that point, the client is required, and in this particular case, the client can appoint an agent on its behalf to conduct work on its behalf, or activities on its behalf, if you like. Now, again, any contractor that is brought in, there's a duty imposed on the client to ensure that those contractors are in a position to perform any duty that is required of it, again, in terms of the construction regulations. Those duties are again set out in the construction regulations, which are quite onerous, and there is a requirement for them to comply. As far as the other scaffolding north of that particular point is concerned, I'm not in a position to comment on that, as I don't have information around that, but we will definitely follow up on that matter post this briefing. As far as the prima facie evidence is concerned, there is a bridge, if you like, that has fallen. During the course of our investigation, we have looked into certain aspects of this as to why the bridge has collapsed, which will include numerous issues that we have looked at. Some of this includes, as an example, the engineering drawings. If there was a discrepancy insofar as the drawings are concerned, we would have looked at that and considered it. And there are other aspects. In terms of the prima facie evidence, we are the information that has been presented has indicated that it suffices in terms of Section 32 for us to look a lot deeper into this particular matter. One of the aspects is access to all the people that we were required to interview during the course of this investigation and for whom we did not get access to. So that was an area of concern for us, and it's an area that I'm not going to delve deeply into for the purpose of this briefing, but it's an area that we'll definitely pursue going forward. Thank you, Chair.
We will have a final round of questions. If we just check if we don't have, then let's also indicate that we're going to give people opportunities if there are any one-on-ones that we wish to conduct with panelists. I guess in the absence of any further questions, let's take this opportunity to...
Can we just, if I could ask another question? If we bear in mind that the structure that collapsed was part of temporary works, okay, and it was just the initial stage of the temporary works, 2 decks that were built over the road. So this was just part of a larger set of drawings that would have covered the entire temporary works. So it appears, I don't want to speculate at the stage, it appears as though this temporary works was in a temporary unstable state. which the contractor appears to have known about. You could shed any light on that?
How many which other bodies are running inquiries on this, and are you working together with any of them?
Any other questions before we close? Thank you.
So thank you very much. You do raise some interesting points there, and you would also appreciate the fact that we are looking at what you're saying. I've already looked at the drawings, or those drawings that have been presented to us, and I'm aware of those drawings. However, I do think that you are obviously digging a lot deeper, but it's part of our investigation, and I don't wish to comment further on that for this particular briefing. The other bodies concerned, we have a specific mandate as the Department of Labour in terms of the Occupational Health and Safety Act, and we are required to ensure that we present a report post the inquiry, which we are looking at doing within a 60-day period, post the inquiry, of course. But at this stage, when we talk about working with other bodies, of course, we do look at whether or not there are any other parties that can assist us during the course of our investigation. And at this stage, we are doing the investigation as a Department of Labour, but we are obviously looking at whoever can assist us with regard to what our mandate is. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Let me take this opportunity to thank the presenters for the work that they've done to clarify the issues, and also thank you for taking the trouble to be here in large numbers. Thank you. Once again, there are those who want to conduct one-on-ones who will make that possible. Thank you.
I've made notes. Can you just print? How many copies should we make?
No, there's twice as many. There's 40, at least 40.
Let's make 40.
Sorry, how do I spell your name, please?
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're just making copies of the statement that was read out now. So if you just wait for a few minutes, we'll avail it to you.
Good, thank you. I'm the Commission for Pedestrians. May I please get your name and allegiance to construct on their behalf?
Sorry.